Welcome, seekers of wisdom, to the Wisdom of Stoics, your sanctuary for timeless truths that empower you to sculpt a life of profound meaning. My friends, have you ever paused to ponder what truly separates the thriving from the striving? Is it luck, destiny, or some elusive secret ingredient? The answer, I suspect, might surprise you. It lies squarely within the habits we cultivate day in and day out. Our lives aren't predetermined by some grand cosmic blueprint, nor are they mere gambles of chance. They are, in essence, a mosaic built from countless small actions, repeated relentlessly. Good habits, like master keys, can unlock doors to a life of fulfillment and joy, while their darker counterparts can shackle us to a relentless cycle of setbacks. So join us on this deep dive into the art of understanding and reshaping your habits, empowering you to forge the life you've always envisioned. Remember this profound truth: who you are today is merely a prelude to who you're becoming tomorrow. 1. Is bad luck just a symptom of bad habits? It's common to hear laments about life's unfairness, an unkind fate, or persistent bad luck. But have you ever considered that the deeper cause often resides in our own habits? Much like the adage, "You reap what you sow," our fortunes are intrinsically linked to our actions. The effort you invest, the habits you cultivate, these are the seeds from which your future harvest will spring. Consider the historical tale of Emperor Marcus Aurelius and his two sons, Commodus and Severus. Marcus, a philosopher king, wrestled with the succession. Severus, the older, was known for his steady hand and disciplined approach. Commodus, though possessing a certain youthful brilliance and charm, was indulged and often seen as Marcus's favorite due to his charismatic nature, even being groomed for leadership. Yet why did Commodus ultimately squander his chance at true imperial greatness? Commodus, it turned out, was a man of excessive indulgence, prone to lavish feasts and unbridled revelry, often displaying a severe lack of self-control. On one infamous occasion, he, in a drunken stupor, attempted to force his way into the Senate chamber during a sacred procession, an act reserved only for the emperor himself on ceremonial occasions. Marcus, upon hearing this, was furious. Though Severus was soon named co-emperor, Marcus did not immediately abandon Commodus, entrusting him with a critical diplomatic mission to a distant province. But before his departure, Marcus summoned Commodus only to find him hopelessly inebriated. From that moment, Marcus's faith in Commodus shattered, and his disappointment was complete. Commodus paid a heavy price for his destructive habits, eventually meeting a tragic end in disgrace. Severus, in stark contrast, though perhaps less naturally charismatic, was always cautious and deliberate in his actions, never impulsive. He ultimately ascended to the throne, a testament to his consistent and disciplined nature. If one cannot govern their own habits, how can they hope to govern an empire? In life, seemingly minor habits wield immense power, capable of altering your trajectory and rewriting your destiny. The ancient texts speak of transformation. When you are stuck, you must change. When you change, you pass through. When you pass through, you endure. Whether in character or endeavor, everything ultimately comes down to habit. Truly excellent individuals aren't flawless. They simply grasp the profound power of good habits. Life is a cycle of cause and effect. Nurturing positive habits is how you actively reshape your life, inviting all the good fortune you deserve. 2. Mindset shapes habits. Habits shape destiny. There's a powerful saying, "Help yourself, and you'll find salvation." Each person's destiny is intricately woven into their habits. Changing your habits is quite literally changing your life. Let me share a true story about a man who was significantly overweight and determined to shed the pounds. Every day he asked himself one simple question: what would a healthy person do? He used this as his guiding principle for every action, from his walks to his meal choices. He stuck with it consistently for a long enough time, and the results were transformative. He became a healthy, fit individual, losing over 100 pounds and maintaining his lean physique. First, we create our habits. Then our habits create us. When you shift your mindset, your actions follow. When you begin to act, you form habits. When you form habits, you develop character. And when you develop character, you are literally harvesting your destiny. Therefore, habits can evolve into character, and character can become destiny. Consider the journey of someone like Arianna Huffington, co-founder of the Huffington Post. Early in her career, she committed to a daily ritual of waking early and meditating, ensuring she began each day grounded and focused. Despite relentless schedules and unforeseen challenges, she consistently upheld this practice. This unwavering commitment not only cultivated a powerful habit of self-care and mental clarity, but also fueled her remarkable success in building a media empire. Small deeds accumulate into great achievements. Even the tiniest grain of sand can become part of a mighty dune. Even the most minuscule action, when pursued with consistent effort, yields profound results. In this life, good fortune pales in comparison to the power of good habits. The ancient sages observed, cultivating character flows from habit. When one's inner nature is good, illness naturally does not arise. To alter your destiny, begin by altering your habits. Habits possess immense power. They can propel you forward, bringing countless unexpected blessings. The more disciplined your life, the more extraordinary it becomes. The more you strive, the more fortunate you become. 3. The immeasurable power of good habits. In the vast tapestry of wisdom, it's often said, all phenomena do not depart from their inherent nature. Every cause and effect in our lives is a direct consequence of our beliefs and actions. To possess good habits is to cultivate good karma, laying the foundation for a future filled with happiness and fulfillment. Imagine two aspiring writers, both determined to pen a 1,000,000-word novel. Writer A, eager to start, immediately dives into typing. A month passes, and he's only managed a few tens of thousands of words. Overwhelmed by the daunting 1,000,000-word goal, he grows discouraged and abandons the project, moving on to seek another grand ambition, ultimately achieving little. Writer B, however, takes a different approach. He returns home and meticulously plans 1,000 words a day. He sticks to this diligently, gradually forming a steadfast habit, and 3 years later, his novel is published, launching his career as a celebrated author. It's true, close in intention, far in habit. The fundamental differences between people stem from their habits, and these distinctions only widen over time. Good habits cultivate a good life, bringing health, happiness, and even prosperity. If you wish to transform your destiny, train yourself in habits that reshape your fate. Consider the story of Benjamin Franklin. Though his early life had its share of youthful indiscretions, under the guidance of a mentor, he embarked on a lifelong journey of self-improvement, meticulously cultivating virtues and transforming them into daily habits. He changed his entire life's trajectory in his later years. He was not destined for great renown, yet he achieved remarkable success. He was not expected to have children, yet he became a father in his middle age. His habits of virtuous living became the very rungs on the ladder that allowed him to turn his life around. Good habits can indeed transform our lives, even our destinies. This illustrates that altering one's fate isn't some mystical fantasy, but rather a journey that begins with small, deliberate changes. Nurture good habits and seize control of your destiny. Finally, the Wisdom of Stoics wants to leave you with a profound thought: to keep a field free of weeds, plant it full of crops. To abandon bad habits, replace them with good ones. 4. 5 truths that pave the way to a successful and happy life. As the ancient texts suggest, life is akin to a journey taken by a traveler from afar. In this irreversible odyssey, some strive their entire lives only to realize that true meaning lies in the ordinary. Others rush through only to discover that inner calm is life's greatest strength. In our rapidly accelerating society, we often find ourselves pursuing something intangible without truly knowing what it is we seek. The story of old Mr. Henderson, born in the 1970s, a factory worker nearing retirement, perfectly illustrates this. Mr. Henderson lived through decades of economic transformation, witnessing the boom years and working diligently. Now, as he prepares to leave his career behind, he finally grasps the true meaning of life. One afternoon, sitting on a park bench with his wife Mary, watching people come and go, Mr. Henderson mused, "Mary, what do you think we've been so busy chasing all our lives?" Mary, surprised, smiled and replied, "Why, just living, of course." Mr. Henderson shook his head. "No," he said, "I believe true winners in life are those who come to realize 5 crucial truths early on. 4.1. The only one you can truly rely on is yourself." Mr. Henderson sighed, recalling his career. "I remember when I first started at the company, I always hoped my boss would give me more support and my colleagues would help me more, but in the end, I always had to rely on myself." Mary nodded thoughtfully. "Exactly. It's like our son, Tom, now that he's working. When he faces challenges, he always wants our help. We can help for a while, but we can't help him forever." Mr. Henderson stated earnestly, "The only one who can truly save themselves is oneself. Tell Tom he needs to learn to stand on his own 2 feet. He can't always wait to be rescued." 4.2. Health is always the top priority. At this, Mr. Henderson instinctively frowned. "Look at me. When I was young, I paid no mind to my health. I'd stay up late every night working overtime. Now I'm riddled with problems." Mary said sadly, "I warned you to take care of your health, but you wouldn't listen. Now you take pills every day, can barely climb the stairs." Mr. Henderson chuckled wryly. "You're right. When I was young, I recklessly pursued high income and status. But now that I'm older, I'm desperately trying to lower my cholesterol and blood sugar. Health is truly vital. Once it's gone, it's incredibly hard to get back." 4.3. A good attitude is half the battle won. "Remember our neighbor, old Mr. Jenkins?" Mr. Henderson suddenly asked. Mary nodded. "I always remember him, always smiling." Mr. Henderson sighed. "You know, his son's business failed a few years ago, racking up huge debts. If it were anyone else, their hair would have turned white by now. But Mr. Jenkins, he stayed optimistic and cheerful. He helped his son start fresh, and now his son's business is flourishing." Mary suddenly realized, "I see. You're saying a positive mindset is incredibly important, aren't you?" Mr. Henderson nodded. "Precisely. Napoleon once said, 'A man who can control his emotions is greater than a general who can capture a city.' Only by maintaining a good attitude can we stand firm against life's storms." 4.4. We can't please everyone. Mr. Henderson watched the passers-by, musing, "Look at these people. Each one has their own ideas and opinions. We can't make everyone like us." Mary smiled. "Indeed, who can truly please everyone?" Mr. Henderson shook his head. "But many people struggle with this. Remember Mrs. Davis in our community, always gossiping? She used to frown all day because she heard others speaking ill of her." Mary suddenly understood. "Ah, you mean we have to learn to accept different voices, right?" Mr. Henderson nodded. "Exactly. Even respected figures like Dr. Smith, who left social media due to online abuse. We must learn to accept diverse opinions and not dwell too much on what others think. 4.5. A happy family requires mutual understanding. At this point, Mr. Henderson affectionately took Mary's hand. "Mary, we've been together so many years. Do you think our family is happy?" Mary smiled. "Of course I'm happy. It's a bit of a mess sometimes, but I feel so warm and cozy." Mr. Henderson nodded. "That's right. A happy family needs mutual understanding. Just like the family in that show, Advice for the Rest of My Life, they support and understand each other, even through difficulties." Mary mused. "You're right. We need to talk more with Tom, understand his thoughts, and support his decisions." Li Chi-Vien smiled. "Exactly. Only then can our family truly be happy." The sun was setting, casting a golden glow on Mr. and Mrs. Henderson. They looked at each other and smiled, as if they had just witnessed the true meaning of life unfold before their eyes. Mr. Henderson's 5 profound insights are the distillation of years of lived wisdom, precious maxims he offers to everyone. They reflect his sagacity in navigating the world, and also the deep understanding and aspirations of a man in his later years. Life isn't always easy, which makes it all the more precious to discern what truly matters and what doesn't, what to hold on to and what to let go. Only by doing so can we invest our limited energy into what is truly valuable, making our lives as joyful as possible without regret. 5. 3 types of people you shouldn't associate with. The closer you are, the poorer you'll be. In the journey of life, our relationships play an incredibly significant role, but did you know there are certain types of people whose close association can actually drag you down, leaving you perpetually caught in a cycle of struggle? Ancient wisdom has identified 3 kinds of individuals you should seriously reconsider before forging deep connections. 5.1. The stubbornly unchanging. There are individuals who, no matter how difficult or stagnant their lives become, simply refuse to change themselves. They remain mired in their own inertia, with no intention of breaking free from their comfort zones. Such people struggle to achieve anything significant because they lack the adaptability and resilience required to overcome life's challenges. Life is a continuous series of trials. Truly successful people have often endured immense pain and loss, and it is precisely through these adversities that they learn to rise and reinvent themselves. Living in comfort for too long can extinguish the drive for change. Those who lack a desire for progress, who are unwilling to evolve, will forever remain stuck in the quicksand of false stability. Associating with such individuals makes you susceptible to their passive lifestyle. Over time, you risk being pulled down into their stagnation. 5.2. The spendthrift and the hoarder. Both these types share a common flaw, a lack of proper financial management resulting in a persistent inability to achieve financial success, regardless of how much they earn. The first is the spendthrift, who squanders any money they possess. Their funds vanish quickly. They have no concept of preserving wealth or using money wisely. Living extravagantly, they constantly face scarcity, unable to save for larger goals. Conversely, the hoarder is excessively frugal, to the point of denying themselves essential experiences. They are hesitant in all financial decisions, which prevents them from enjoying life or investing in opportunities that could yield long-term value. Money isn't just a tool for survival, it's a means for personal growth and enhancing life quality. But to achieve that, careful consideration and balanced management are crucial. Neither excessive spending nor extreme restraint is beneficial. 5.3. The blame shifter. Another common type is the individual who constantly assigns responsibility for all their problems to others. Regardless of difficulties or failures, They consistently attribute the cause to someone else. Instead of bravely confronting reality and acknowledging their own mistakes, they choose to deflect blame. This behavior not only erodes respect from others, but also hinders their own personal progress. Truly strong individuals are those who dare to face failure, extracting valuable lessons from it. When you take responsibility and rectify your errors, you not only mature but also inspire trust and admiration from others. In contrast, those who perpetually blame others remain trapped in their failures, for they never look within to find the root cause of their struggles. 6. Ancient wisdom. No desires at 40, no passions at 50, no overeating at 60. Life unfolds over mere decades. Through its countless ups and downs, we eventually realize that joys and sorrows are fleeting, like clouds drifting across the sky. Those who live with true clarity learn the art of subtraction to cultivate a relaxed and comfortable existence. 6.1. Releasing desires at 40. In life, 8 or 9 out of 10 things rarely go as planned, and this reality is ever present. When we feel disheartened, most of us complain that life is hard and exhausting. Yet as many know, suffering and weariness often stem from excessive desires. We want too much and receive too little. It's like owning a small car but craving a bigger one. Then, with a bigger car, you yearn for an even more luxurious model. If you are never content with the present and constantly driven by insatiable desires, both your body and mind will become profoundly exhausted. An old saying goes, "A discontented person finds no comfortable chair." By the time one reaches 40, it's wise to learn the art of subtraction, diminish desires and lessen comparisons. Living a simple, contented life is the greatest happiness of all. In this life, no matter how much wealth you accumulate, you cannot take it with you. No matter how high your status, it ultimately proves futile. There's a profound saying, the pinnacle of life isn't about how much you clearly see, but about how much you undervalue. Life isn't bitter. The bitterness lies in insatiable craving. The human heart isn't tired. The tiredness comes from an inability to let go. Upon reaching middle age, one should learn to view things lightly, to live comfortably and at ease in this complex world. 6.2. Detaching from emotional obsessions at 50. In life, so much feels beyond our control. For our families, we often force a smile. You might believe that if you are genuinely sincere, you will receive similar sincerity in return. Yet you may never consider that this is merely your own idealized fantasy, and others may not value it at all. What you perceive as a beautiful relationship turns out to be indifference or coldness. Now at 50, we have traversed half of life's journey. Life itself is already challenging, so why add more suffering to it? All relationships are the same. If there is harmony, people stay together. If there isn't, they drift apart. Stop trying to please those who don't value you. Life comes and goes, and not everyone deserves your time and energy. Life is short, don't force yourself. Therefore, spend your time with people who make you feel comfortable and at ease. 6.3. Avoiding overeating at 60. Overeating can easily burden the body, leading to numerous ailments and even premature death. Therefore, if you wish to remain healthy and avoid discomfort, you must begin by eating less. Only by doing so can you maintain your health and live a long, peaceful life. The ancients often said, good food is a blessing, but few realize that eating just enough is wisdom. Excessive eating harms health. Even the most delicious dishes should be enjoyed in moderation, eating wisely to maintain health, working diligently to nourish the spirit. The principle of 70% full, 30% hungry is the best way to soothe the stomach and foster longevity. Ultimately, Good health is the most precious asset in anyone's life. Life is but once, fleeting and ephemeral. There is no time for regret, no time for complaint, no time for endless reflection. Therefore, at 40, do not crave too much. Learn to control your desires. At 50, do not be overly passionate. Simply find joy. At 60, maintain good health. By embracing these 3 practices, you can live healthily, stably, happily, and without worry in your later years. Throughout the rest of your life, may you navigate its ups and downs without regret. Advance without fear and remain calm, secure, and content. 7. 6 secrets to avoiding mental exhaustion and living a happy life. Inner depletion refers to psychological consumption, excessive thinking, worry, and mental conflict. This state can leave us feeling tired, stressed, and negatively impact our daily lives and productivity. So how can we improve this? You need to activate your high energy every day to live a happy life. In personal life, activating high energy refers to using certain methods and habits to increase one's mental and physical energy levels. This makes them feel better and more energized. 7.1. Get up, get out, and get moving. If you lie around at home for days without exercise or social interaction, just binge watching endless short videos, you'll find yourself becoming less active, your mood sinking, and lacking the energy to do anything. At this point, when your overall energy is low, your body is signaling that it's time to conserve energy. Many people operate on low energy, spending their days scrolling on their phones and ordering takeout. Over time, they become sluggish and moody. No matter how long your vacation is, try not to stay home for more than 2 days. Even when you're home, don't just lie in bed, let alone spend hours watching short videos. You can learn to cook, practice yoga, read, or work on other projects at home. Journaling and recording videos for others are also great ways to maintain high energy. On weekends, make a point to get out and find something to do, whether it's camping, visiting an exhibition, or meeting old friends for afternoon tea. If you don't have plans, grab a book and sit outside the prettiest cafe on the corner, observing the bustling crowd. We especially recommend exercising a few times a week, not necessarily for weight loss or fitness, but to conserve energy and improve your mood. When you exercise, you're sending a signal to your brain, I feel great and healthy. If you lie in bed for days, your body sends a different signal, I feel uncomfortable, I'm sick. There was a period when Alex suffered from insomnia and depression due to exam pressure. He sought help from a psychologist who advised him to exercise. Afterward, he played badminton, table tennis, and went swimming. Each time he broke a sweat, he felt invigorated. Despite physical fatigue, his mind was brimming with energy. When his body was tired, his mind had no time to dwell on worries, and his sleep improved. Thoughts that had eluded him suddenly came to mind. When some people feel heartbroken and helpless, they immediately go out to exercise. Those who do it effectively report excellent results. I don't seem to miss him as much anymore, or I suddenly crave fried chicken. I feel like I could eat anything. You'll be delighted if you simply indulge your cravings. 7.2. Connect with positive, high-energy people. Engage with others rather than complaining or arguing with negative people online, because energy is contagious. Sarah was incredibly vibrant and never worried about anything. When everyone planned a trip to Tokyo, flights and hotels were booked. Then Sarah was informed her visa had issues and she couldn't go. Everyone else was crushed, but Sarah wasn't. A friend asked her why, and Sarah simply replied, "It's a shame I can't go to Tokyo, but I can still go somewhere else and enjoy my vacation. Maybe the scenery will be even better." Hearing her, her friends brightened up too. 7.3. Be open to different possibilities in life. Meet more people. Listen to their stories and exchange ideas. You'll truly discover that the world is much bigger than you imagine. The reason you can't think of certain things is because you're immersed in your own small world. The more people you interact with, the more opportunities you'll discover in life. John once traveled alone to Laos after a breakup. He was deeply dejected and exhausted. As it happened, he met a 40-year-old Japanese woman at the youth hostel. She had never married and didn't seek a partner. She had been volunteering for years. She picked up a guitar and asked him how to play. Then she followed John. They hummed along together and invited him for a beer. At that moment, he felt life was truly wonderful. If you feel you don't have opportunities to meet high achievers, you can read books, watch documentaries, and then write down your own reflections. 7.4. Focus on the good, not the bad, every day. Some people are inherently pessimistic. When something happens, they immediately anticipate the worst possible outcome, simultaneously envisioning countless horrific scenarios that lead them into a corner from which they cannot escape. One student, an entrepreneur, was unhappy even when her business was doing exceptionally well. She would say, "We have so many customers today, but I don't know if I'll still have my business tomorrow." This kind of thinking can be truly exhausting and will never lead to happiness. She then made an effort to list things that made her happy and things that made her unhappy each day. For the unhappy column, she would consider if there was any positive meaning to the problem. For example, if there were fewer customers, could she spend more time with her children or take a break to recharge? Approach problems with an optimistic mindset. Every day tell yourself that you are living a good life, and as long as you're alive, good things are bound to happen. 7.5. End inner conflict. Don't dwell on meaningless things, especially those that have already happened or those you cannot change. For instance, after a date, don't obsess over how you behaved, whether you left a good impression or if he liked you. Overthinking won't help. It only drains your energy. Some people have incredibly active minds, constantly overthinking problems, yet their bodies are very sluggish. If you want to know if he likes you, just go on another date and observe his reaction when you meet. What you think about won't affect the outcome. 7.6. Focus on yourself and be kind to yourself. Some people are concerned about everyone and everything except their own happiness. Some strive to please everyone else but don't know how to please themselves. Be kind to yourself. This is truly good for you. There's a Japanese TV show called Waka Okami wa Shogakusei. The young landlady is a grade schooler. To enjoy the best possible beer, the main character would work out at the gym for an hour to achieve peak thirst. Being kind to yourself also means not being overly harsh on yourself. 8. The ancients say 4 ways of living that lead to misery. Everyone hopes to live a comfortable and smooth life in their later years. Yet those who rely on cleverness and exploiting others to overcome challenges often find themselves miserable in their remaining days. Only those who are practical and hard-working tend to have stable and happy lives. Opportunists, fraudsters, and deceivers ultimately bring suffering upon themselves. Here are 4 ways of living that will make the rest of your life miserable. 8.1. Relying on others will make you forget your responsibilities in life. Many people rely on the help of others to overcome difficulties, finding it an easy way of life. However, this dependence is only temporary and, in the long run, will only make you less capable and lazier. Constantly counting on others' care, even taking such dependence for granted, makes you forget your own responsibility for your life. Be grateful for help, but never take it for granted. You might ask why you shouldn't rely on others. The answer is simple. Rely on the mountain, and the mountain may fall. Rely on people, and they may leave. Only by relying on yourself can you truly control your own destiny. In traditional beliefs, it's natural for relatives and friends to help each other, but over-reliance on others will only make you lose your independence. In this changing world, we must learn self-reliance. Some people always depend on family support, living comfortably for years with everyone's help. But when something happens to their family members, they are helpless. Some grow accustomed to friends' care, only to find their lives chaotic when those friends leave. Others always expect others to make decisions for them, missing opportunities at crucial moments due to their inability to think independently. These examples show that long-term reliance on others will only make you less capable, ultimately losing your ability to live independently. True happiness is built on self-reliance, not on others' charity. Therefore, to avoid hardship in the rest of your life, learn self-reliance and stop depending on others. 8.2. Living solely for indulgence will lead you away from success. Many choose a lifestyle of excessive eating and drinking, finding temporary relaxation and believing it avoids effort and worry. However, a life centered solely on indulgence will gradually erode your fighting spirit, ultimately leading to emptiness. Many say, "As long as I have food and drink, nothing else matters." But in reality, this attitude will only lead you further from success. Discard this complacent mindset as soon as possible and learn to strive for a better life through your own efforts. As long as your life is stable, you don't need to work too hard. Some live off their savings, but after a few years, they realize they've fallen behind and been discarded by society. Consequently, when their company downsizes, they are the first to be laid off. Others always wish to be lazy, but at critical moments they find themselves lacking competitiveness and the ability to seize opportunities. Often, a life focused purely on indulgence will make you lose the motivation to move forward, and eventually, you will be abandoned by society. Truly intelligent people choose to abandon this lifestyle and strive for a brighter future through their own efforts. Therefore, we must learn to rely on ourselves and stop living just to eat. Only through your own efforts can you truly master your destiny and live a happy life. 8.3. Pursuing power at any cost will make you lose many important things. In life, many pursue power and status at any cost. However, not everyone can sustain the life of a high-ranking individual. Prolonged engagement with such a life will physically and mentally exhaust you, ultimately becoming unbearable. Relinquish power when appropriate and focus on your physical and mental health, as well as family happiness, because power and status come at a price. Sustained stress will only wear you down, even costing you the most important things. Some work tirelessly for promotions and raises. After only a few years, they realize their health has deteriorated and their families have fallen apart. Some do anything to gain power, only to lose their initial friends and trust in the struggle for dominance. Others always dream of realizing their ambitions through power, only to discover that power brings not only glory, but also endless pressure and responsibility. Prolonged stress will only physically and mentally exhaust you, ultimately leading to more losses than gains. Choose to release power at the right time and focus on your physical and mental health and family happiness. Only then can you truly live a happy life. 8.4. Squandering inherited wealth without creating your own will ruin your life. Some people inherit wealth from their ancestors and feel they can live a stable life without working hard. However, relying on inherited wealth will gradually erode one's drive, ultimately leaving them with nothing. After inheriting ancestral wealth, many become extravagant and wasteful, living idle lives, completely oblivious that their wealth will one day run out. You must appreciate and utilize inherited wealth while actively working to create your own, because only through your own efforts can you truly experience a sense of accomplishment and ensure long-term stability for your life. Inheriting ancestral wealth is an honor, but inheritance alone cannot meet the demands of modern society. In this dynamic era, we must learn self-reliance. Just as many inherit real estate and savings from their parents and believe they won't have to worry for the rest of their lives, they begin to squander it. After a few years, their assets are depleted, and their lives are in disarray. After receiving a generous inheritance, they fail to progress. Ultimately, they face bankruptcy due to a lack of financial knowledge. Others always believe they can live well on inherited wealth, but they ignore that times are changing, competition is increasing, and ultimately, they are left behind by society. Therefore, learn self-reliance and do not depend on ancestral wealth. Only by cherishing inherited wealth and striving to create your own can we truly master our destiny and live a happy life. The proverb says, "As you sow, so shall you reap." Many who are greedy in their youth and unwilling to put in the effort will find misery in their later years. Those who only seek shortcuts and exploit others from a young age will eventually pay the price for their actions. In contrast, those who are practical and work diligently tend to be more stable and happy in the latter part of their lives. You see, the journey of cultivating habits, understanding yourself, and living a meaningful life is not as complex as you might think. Every choice, every small action you take today is actively writing the next chapter of your life. If these insights have resonated with you, and you're eager to join the Wisdom of Stoics in exploring even deeper philosophies that can help you shape a brighter future, please don't hesitate to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with those you care about. And most importantly, leave a comment below. What's one positive habit you're committed to building today? And what's one negative habit you're determined to let go of? Let's build a life worth living together with the Wisdom of Stoics.